women are just built different. They're maternal. We have these hormones that make us feel this way. No one talks to women about their brain health. No one's really talking to us about our mental health. No one's actually even talking to us about like, hey, how are you doing? If your brain's fried, it's fried. It needs help. You need to take care. Our brain controls everything. 1 in 5 women will get Alzheimer's. And that's crazy. That's crazy. No one's talking about it.
Welcome back to the Iconic Midlife, the podcast where we stop shrinking, stop apologizing, and start having the conversations women actually need. I'm your host, Roxy Manning, and today's guest is Helen Christoni, entrepreneur, wellness executive, co-creator of Make Time Wellness, and a woman whose personal experiences with grief, caregiving, loss, and reinvention completely reshaped the way she thinks about women's health and cognitive well-being. After losing loved ones to dementia and mental health struggles, including the devastating loss of her daughter Bella, Helen found herself asking bigger questions about what women carry emotionally, mentally, and physically in midlife, and why so many of us wait until we're depleted to finally prioritize ourselves. This conversation goes far beyond wellness trends or supplements. We talk about grief, identity, resilience, caregiving, reinvention, and the invisible emotional labor women are expected to absorb while still functioning at full capacity. And honestly, I think a lot of women are going to feel seen in this one. If you're enjoying the Iconic Midlife, it would mean a lot if you would take a second to follow the show, download this episode, and leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Those reviews genuinely help us grow, reach more women, and continue bringing you conversations like this. Now, here's my conversation with Helen Christoni. Welcome to the Iconic Midlife, Helen. How are you today?
I'm doing beautiful. Roxy, I'm so excited to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great. Same. It's Friday, the end of the week, ready to kind of dive into that weekend a little bit. It seems like the weeks get crazier as I've gotten older. I feel like the time just goes so fast.
Yes, this is exactly why we need to make time.
Yes, exactly. Nice mention.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I have been doing my research on you,
Yeah.
ladies. So really, you just have such an interesting story to me. So I really wanted you to come on the show so we could talk about it. I was scrolling through social media as we do, kind of taking a deep dive. I think your story is amazing. So I kind of wanted to get into it. Absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, I love what you're doing with brain health because I think in midlife, that is something that we really should be paying attention to. It's really just so important. And I'm glad the conversation's opening up about that. Your work with brain health and cognitive wellness, it seems like it wasn't born out of, wanting to just be on a simple wellness trend. It really seems deeper than that with you. It's about personal loss and grief. How did grief change the way you think about like health and time and what actually matters?
Oh, wow. So let's talk about that. First of all, from a brain health perspective, I lost my grandmother to dementia. And then right before we launched Make Time Wellness, I lost my mother-in-law to frontal temporal dementia. I didn't even know that's what she had, to be quite honest with you. I found out after the fact. And then a few months after we launched the brand, I lost my daughter. The most horrible thing that can happen to a mother, to a father, to anybody is to lose a child. And so as you can imagine, we launched this brand and, she was my biggest supporter and, the worst thing possible happened. And so I think that first of all, I'm so grateful that I have such amazing people in my life, including my partner, Emma Hemming Willis, who's my partner and my dearest friend. But when I came out of that, and I kind of came out of the brain fog that is
Mhm.
grief and, because it's an out of body experience for, quite a while, I now I'm really only focused on things that fill me with purpose. And I was that way before, but now, I am double down on purpose and it's really given me a reason to wake up in the morning in a couple ways,
Mm.
emotionally, mentally, but I also found myself with this bandwidth and that I never anticipated having, when something so massive is just removed, it has given me this beautiful outlet to do something so meaningful and important for women. And it really has been my pleasure to be able to dig in here and have this conversation that's so important for us, because no one talks to women about their brain health. No one's really talking to us about our mental health. No one's
Mhm.
actually even talking to us about, like, hey, how are you doing? Like, really tell me what's going on with you. So at Make Time Wellness, that's what we really try to do. And yeah, my grief has inspired a lot of how I show up for this
Mm.
conversation.
So, when you're going through such a profound grief like that, was there a moment when you realized, I'm not, not only is life different, but I'm not the same as I was before? Like, was there just like some sort of a realization, or like you're saying, finding purpose in every single day? What was that
Oh,
moment?
oh, I mean, it was
Mm.
as a mom of a beautiful daughter, I had a beautiful relationship, and I'm so grateful for the beautiful relationship I had with my daughter Bella. I was also a single mom, and she's my only child. It was very quickly like my identity as a mother is something that I had done for, 26, 27 years, if you
Mhm.
consider also pregnancy. And I mean, she was my number one. She was, my first thought. She was why I did what I did. She was the reason I got out of bed. She was the reason I went to work. I mean, she was my why. And
Mhm.
so it was so instant that just all kind of changed for me. I'm still absolutely her mom, and I'm still a mom, and I'm still her parent, and I still do things to really live in her honor.
Mhm.
But I've had to really kind of think about, who am I now that I'm
Mhm.
a bereaved mom and an angel mom, and how does this look like, and I've had to really, everything gets affected. Your weekends get affected, that your
Mhm.
your phone calls, your text messages get affected. I mean,
Mhm.
my phone, it's like, I honestly, there's like, when I on the weekends when I go out with my husband, there's no reason to take my phone with me. It's such a profound, weird thing that happens.
Mhm.
And you reset. It's like there's tremendous loss there, and I've had to really, like, refill that with you could refill it with many things. And I'm so grateful that I've had
Mm.
such a great support system around me, and therapy, and all the things that I've done, and groups and people. Some people can fill it, with things that harm them.
Mhm.
Some people can fill it with things that are really positive. I chose positive. I'm a much different person today than I was, before losing my daughter Bella.
Mhm. I'm sure there are women out there who are listening and watching who have
Yeah.
experienced, profound grief as well. What are some of the things that really kind of took you out, that really helped you in those first sort of, days, weeks, months, and probably still do?
So first of all, just to acknowledge, if anyone's listening that's had tremendous loss, whether it's been a sibling or, heaven forbid, your child, a parent, I don't think anything can ever prepare you for any of that,
Mm.
especially if it's someone that, is so important to you. And honestly, I just have to say, like, I mean, I had a complete mental breakdown when this was
Mhm.
when I first heard. And, people talk about, nervous breakdowns. I could literally feel the nerves running through my body when this was landing on me, what had happened to Bella. And
Mm.
I quickly, and it might have been for me fight or flight.
Mhm.
I went to my primary care doctor that night, and she's like, brought me in, and I remember I was there with my husband, and I was like, I am dying and you need to help me. And so I mean, she gave me things to help me sleep. I mean, just quite honestly, she gave me things to sleep. She prescribed antidepressants, which I didn't take. I made a decision not to take them. I was immediately put under care of a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and then I also found a really beautiful therapist that really helped me with talk therapy and energy work. I do this combo, and some years have passed now. We're coming up on my 3-year anniversary, so I think that this therapy I've been doing
Mm,
every week for all this time. And it is one place I feel like people need, whether it's a friend, a therapist, a journal,
mhm,
a grief group. I think it's so important you have one place where you can put this without judgment, because unfortunately life moves on, and it's like, I have amazing friends I can talk to all the time about things like this, but it's like you don't necessarily feel comfortable like going to, a friend over and over and over again. So having an outlet, I think, is key. And
mm,
make an appointment, like making time for that outlet is so important. So I have a schedule once a week. I go
mm.
in and I really dump all my feelings, all my thoughts, all my anger, all my shock that I still carry. And then I'm able to really kind of move on. And so therapy has been a godsend.
I was looking at one of your posts and it said, you were posting your beautiful daughter and you said,
Mm,
it brings me so much joy to talk about her,
it does.
right? Which is
Yeah.
just amazing. So what would you want people to know about her? What was she like?
Oh, wow. I mean, Bella was like an angel before she really
Mm,
even became an angel, you know? So she was always very angelic and spiritual. She was much more spiritually inclined than me. I'm really pragmatic. I mean, I'm very like business, I'm that
uh-huh.
girl. I'm always on. I'm flying here. I'm going there, conference call here. I'm all like my whole life has been that way.
Mhm,
And she was very gentle. She was an artist. She was just about to finish school, actually. She was going to school, music production school. She was about to graduate when we lost her. And profound singer, artist, music maker. She had just gotten a job to become a producer, to produce music with other women. And
mhm,
and she was very passionate about helping women, and the reason she wanted to produce music is because like she'd go in with her songs and she'd go into production with these guys, and she felt like she was like pouring her soul out, to these like, old guys in the room. And nothing against old guys, this is just her feeling, and she wanted to create this safe space for
mm,
women to be able to share their most personal words, and with an empath, so
mhm,
that was Bella. She was beautiful, a little feisty, and she still is. Her spirit is very, very loud, so
mhm.
thank God for her.
Yes, and I love that you're putting out her music. I saw that
Yeah.
you've been dropping her music because she really did make beautiful music.
Yeah, when Bella passed, she had 2 songs like produced and scheduled. We're actually, we have another charity for her. It's called Bella's Angel Fund, and I'm continuing to. It took some time, right? Like all good things
Mhm,
in good time, and this year
mm.
we're actually going to be releasing some of her music. She's got dozens of songs. Just it
Oh,
was like a
wow.
gift. Like
Mm,
I have her laptop, I have her music, and so I'll continue to release it as I think it's, as the universe speaks to me,
yes.
that's how I'm releasing it. Yeah.
That's amazing. I think, one thing a lot of us in midlife sort of deal with is this anticipatory grief.
Yeah.
Aging parents,
Mm,
maybe we're caregiving in the future. It's all of these things. And so I think the emotional toll of just that too is so heavy
Oh,
for
yeah.
us. And I think women are often, expected, especially midlife, to absorb all of this. How do we do that and kind of navigate that while still trying to operate at full capacity, essentially?
I'd love to just, highlight Emma Hemming Willis, my partner at Make Time Wellness. I
Hmm.
mean, she is a caregiver to her husband, Bruce. I think it's watching her navigate this has been, this anticipatory grief has been very eye-opening for me. I unfortunately was in a shock situation.
Hmm.
She has been walking through this for quite some time now, and I think it's really important that we ask for help and that we actually, and Emma, in her book The Anticipated Journey, she tells the readers to, like, people are always asking, how can I help you? How can I help you? But we don't know what they can do. So write down a list. Honestly, if you're in a
Mm.
situation where you're caregiving or someone's sick in your family, or whether it's a child or a parent or a sibling, and if, like, think about what you really need help with and ask for help, because people truly want to help you. They just don't know what to do. And so making a list is super important. And then you have to fill your own cup. So, you can't really take care of anybody if you're not filling your own cup. And so, one of the messages she and I both talk about so much is making time. And it looks different for everybody. And it could be taking a walk, like grabbing a friend, going for a walk, talking about your problems. It could be journaling, to quote Emma. Also, she always says better out than in. And I
Mhm.
love that, because some people don't have time. They can't
Right.
go to a therapist. They can't go to a group session. They can't go even for a walk with their girlfriend if they want to. So if that's you and you're listening, like, just get it out, just write it out.
Mhm.
And so those are a few things that I think are super helpful.
I think to your point also, people don't really know what to say to somebody who has gone
Mm.
through something
Oh, yeah.
very, tragic and profound. So can you speak to that a little bit too? Because I think, again, I think people want to be helpful. They want to say the quote unquote right thing, but they just don't even know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like, we're really grief illiterate here, and
Yes.
as was I before I went through this with my daughter, and that's okay.
Mhm.
But I think if you have someone that you're close to that is grieving, I mean, just love them. They need love. They're so like, just void and bankrupt. When
Mhm.
they're dealing with something like this, I think just love and compassion goes a long way. And sitting with them, like, don't have them ask for things. Just do
Mhm.
things for them. Whether it's just sending them a note, or a sweet treat to eat if they can eat.
Mhm.
Or
Right.
like with me, when Bella passed, I mean, my house became a bakery. I mean, it was wild. I mean, nothing was getting eaten around here, but I mean, it was
Mhm.
wild. I mean, it was so beautiful. But I think also just sitting with people
Mhm.
and letting them just talk. I think there's time to share stories, but in the
Mhm.
beginning, I don't know, for me, like, "Oh, Bella's with you." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, she's not." I'm
Mhm.
like, "She's not with me right now." I was so, like, insane. Now, like, I can have that conversation. But I think just being gentle, listening is so important, holding someone's hand, sitting with, and being creative
Mhm.
about just letting, I mean, I have a very dear friend of mine. Her name is Myra. She just lost her husband. I sent her evil eyes for her house. Like, I just talked to her yesterday, and she has evil eyes. Literally, she's like, "You sent me like 100 evil eyes. I literally have
Oh,
them." Just things that
yes.
she's like, "You were insane." Like, and it, like, put a smile on her face. That
Right.
I did this, and hey, let me, like, come over and do some wash for you, and
Mm.
just there's little things, because when someone's in the throes of just a recent grief journey, they are mentally not able to ask for help. They
Right.
don't have that. They're just not cognitively there. And so I think just, yeah, sit with them, listen to them, think out of the box on things that can, like, touch them. And yeah.
So when did that joy start coming back into your life? Like, was there a point that you noticed, I can laugh again or I can smile again, like things like that?
So in the beginning, joy had to find me, you
Mm.
know. And you just have to be open to like recognizing that, oh, hey, I'm laughing, and it was slow.
Mm,
I really have to say it was slow. I think in the first year of, after La Sabella, I just had to be open to the windows. And it could be a lot of it was from spending time with her friends.
mm,
And, I'm so blessed that her friends really came around and they wanted to spend time with me. I wanted to spend time with them. So I think like just telling stories and sharing with them gave me joy and some reprieve. And also, it's the smallest things, like just the breeze, going for a walk,
mm,
nature, sitting outside. For me, I really needed to be outside. I had a calling for green. Like I couldn't be in the house. I just had to be out. And it took some time. I feel like it really took probably a good, I don't know, year and a half,
mm,
for me to really be like active and like, hey, let's do something, and like, do you want to have
mhm.
lunch? Like, let's get
Yes.
together. Like, there was a long time that I just was, thank God for my husband and my partner Emma and my friends around me. I mean, they were not making me think of these things. I
Mm,
was surrounded by a bunch of people who were filling my time, and I dove into work, and because that's what I know how to do.
mhm,
I knew how to be a mom and I really knew how to work. And so
mm,
so I really dove into work. And so it took a while. And now I feel like, I just had a birthday, and I feel like at this point I can take my grief vest off
mm,
and put it in the closet, and I could take it out when I want to hold it. And it becomes something that is so important. There's
mhm,
times that I want to sit and I want to spend time grieving my beautiful daughter. Like I want to be in that place of missing her and longing for her. But, I am me, and I am kind of redefining
mm,
who I am now and what my path forward is. And that's exactly what she'd want me to do. She want me to go out there, kick ass, take names, be that boss mom she had, and,
mhm,
like do, affect change in the world. And so that's really now I have this reinvigorated, let's get out there and get after it.
mhm. Absolutely. I wonder if success looks different to you now because, of course, you have all these
Mm.
amazing companies. You're like a serial entrepreneur, like
Yeah, I
killing
do.
it. But I
Thank you.
wonder if, of course, I wonder if after going through, the grief and the loss, does that change what success looks like to you?
100%.
Mm,
Like nothing really matters. I mean, like
mm,
it has really shifted my my person in every aspect, because I'm much more like, my emotional IQ has changed tremendously. So I feel like my connecting with other people, understanding what they have at home, like
mm,
allowing people the grace to do whatever they need outside of work, connecting on that has really become much more important to me. And then as it relates to business,
mhm,
look, I mean, business is business. And I think that as a business person, we still need to build companies that have a positive impact, ROI, that we're good partners. I mean, I'm a real business person in my DNA. So I
mhm.
think that all that stuff drives me, KPIs, OKRs, all that
Right.
stuff. But I think the purpose driven brand
Mm,
piece, telling those stories has become front and center to me. Like,
mm,
how am I helping you? How am I helping your customers? How can I help people behind the cash register? How can we work together as companies? And as it relates to what we're doing at Make Time, and our mission is to get the world talking seriously about women's brain health.
mhm,
We're just not trying to get on a shelf. We're trying to get on the shelf and go behind the door at these retailers and touch the women that are working there, because, 1 in 5 women will get Alzheimer's. And that's crazy.
mhm.
That's
It
crazy.
is.
No one's talking about it.
No.
And we have to do things, and we have to do things today to protect ourselves 30 years from now. And no one knows that.
No,
And
no
so
one knows that.
And so this purpose-driven work is really what matters to me now. And so, success does look different. My success now is the impact I have on how many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people I can touch
Hmm.
and, share invaluable information that may help prolong and help them. And also now like this, we're talking about grieving and loss. And if I can be of any service to another grieving parent, it is my pleasure. And it took a
Hmm.
minute for me to get to here.
It really took some time, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. I mean,
Hmm.
child loss is just, I I mean, I just had an out of body experience for the first year, and then
Hmm.
the second year I was like, whoa, I have to really deal with all this stuff. And then, and
Right.
here I am in year three and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get my grounding, and
Hmm.
so it's been a journey, but I think that a lot of people go through every day. Someone goes through this, unfortunately. We
I
need a lot,
know.
whether it's your parent or your sibling or your
Hmm.
husband or your kid, kids' friends, these kids, it's horrible what's happening to our children. And so, yeah, happy to be of service.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of women shelve their own cognitive health and their emotional health and, put it to the side. And it's really unfortunate because we're probably the ones that need it the most because I feel like we're holding down the fort in a lot of ways. We're sort of the glue a lot of times in our,
Yeah, we are.
family system and everything. So, why do you think it is so difficult for women to make time for their selves in that way, to take care of their cognitive health and their emotional health?
I mean, women are just built different. They're
Mhm.
maternal. We
Mhm.
have these hormones that make us feel this way, and that sends signals to our brain to behave in this way. So we are absolutely different than men. And a lot of it has to do with our hormonal makeup.
Mm.
We were talking about 1 in 5 women are at risk for Alzheimer's. That's compared to 1 in 10 men, mind you. And so, it's like, hello, ladies, no one's talking to you about your brain health.
Mhm.
And it's not hard to really take care of it. And, one of the reasons I think that, women are the chief medical officers of the household. They, like I said, they're programmed to be, the caregivers. And also like societally, it's just been this way. The women
Mhm.
are the ones who do the things, and men are stepping up, right? And this isn't like I in no means want to,
Mhm.
throw shade on guys, but this is just historically, this is what it's looked like. It is what it is, and we feel so much pressure now. I think also with social media, it's like
Mhm.
you need to be a mom to your kids and do drop offs and look cute and do Target hauls and go to girls trips and then be a perfect wife to your husband and have a organic, grass fed meal on the table.
Mhm.
And there's so much external pressure that we're all under I mean, how could you make time? So
Yeah.
I think that making time looks different for everybody.
Mhm.
And first of all, everyone needs, if you're a woman, you need to be supplementing. Period. You're
Mhm.
losing your cellular energy. Things are going the wrong way. We're losing our short term memory at the age of 30. Like these things are happening whether we like it or not. So, supplementation is super important. But when it comes to feeding your soul, for
Mhm.
instance, I love to run, right? I'm a runner and I love
Mhm.
being
I
outside.
saw that you
So,
were doing, like, marathons, right?
yeah, yeah, I'm a super
Wow.
runner, and that is how I make time. I grab my girlfriend Jackie, we go for a
Mhm.
run, and it's something that I do to make time for myself, and I book that time. Emma, for instance, she loves to garden, so she's out tinkering in her garden. It could be reading, it could be listening to music, it could be whatever it is. It could be cooking,
Mhm.
sewing, like playing tennis. You know what you love. And so making time for that
Mhm.
is really important. And so I think that just scheduling it is so vital.
Mhm.
And giving yourself that time. Like women deserve to make some time. It's
I'm
like,
glad you're saying that, like, put
yeah,
it in your calendar.
you have to book it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
like a perfect example is my cousin Natasha. She's got so many schedules for her whole family. I mean, it gives me an anxiety attack. And I've got a crazy calendar, right? And I'm just like, whoa. And I'm like, cousin, you need to make time for yourself, like, and so, and she does. She goes and she plays tennis and she works out, and And I also think connection. We're
Mm.
void of connection. Like, connection is not sliding into your girlfriend's DMs with a meme. It's not.
Mhm.
And we have to pick up the phone. And so make the car time your connection time. Pick up the phone and just call your girlfriends. Doesn't even matter if you talk to them. Just like, hi, so and so, it's Helen. I'm calling to check in. Just want to tell you that I love you. People want to get those messages. And if you just spend every day taking 10 minutes to do outreach, you'll be just so surprised and just at what comes back at you.
Mhm. It's actually kind of, I mean, I don't want to say selfish because it's not negative, but you get so much in return from that,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Fills your cup. It
It
fills your cup.
fills your cup. Like, so do it even just for that too, just
Yeah,
to,
100%.
feel good. So with cognitive decline, because first of all, I can't even believe it's 1 in 5 women that get Alzheimer's, it just,
Yeah.
and it just blows me away. But what are some of the early signs of cognitive decline that we're
Oh,
missing?
yeah.
Because, we're sort of in this swirl of like perimenopause and menopause, and it's like all these things. And sometimes I feel like, am I chalking this symptom up to that? Is it something different? We're just in this, like, it's almost like a tornado of symptoms. So, what are some of the early signs of the cognitive decline that we should be really paying attention to?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it, right? Because it's
Yeah.
so interesting. It makes time we make
Uh,
we make supplements that check a couple boxes because they're just not out there on the shelf. And so we actually just launched a Make Time for Menopause plus Brain Health gummy because no one had put like menopause with
mhm.
brain health when brain health is like one of the like the most searched, like brain fog is one of the
Right.
most searched terms for menopause and perimenopause. I mean, and what does that look like? I mean, we all know you walk into the kitchen and you're like, why am I in the kitchen? Or like, where did I put my keys? Or what am I supposed to be doing right now? How did I make this recipe
Right.
again?
Mid-sentence forgetting what you're saying to
Yeah,
somebody?
like, wait, oh, short-term memory.
Yeah.
That's it. We start losing it
Yes.
at 30. Like, we have a joke now. Like, oh, that's in my short-term memory of all. You don't remember someone's name when you've known them your whole life. Like,
Mm-mm.
hello. I mean, that happens to me constantly. So, that is just, this can be just estrogen fluctuation. And like, listen, ladies, when you're listening, if your brain's fried, it's fried. It needs help. You need
Mhm.
to take care. Our brain controls everything. Our heart pumps our blood. Our brain is controlling how we react to things, our emotions, how our feeling signals. All this stuff is happening in our brain and we are never talking about it. So we want to make sure that we're sending like fat and all kinds of good juju and like
Yes.
moisturizing, like everything that we're doing for our face, we want to be doing for our brain. You want to be hydrated. You want to be well slept. You want all these
Mhm.
things, like your brain needs these things. And so midlife women, when your estrogen is fluctuating and we're going through whether you just had a kid, mommy brain, it's a real thing.
Mhm.
When you're going through perimenopause, that this is real. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get Alzheimer's,
Mhm.
but you do need help. And there are things like, we use an ingredient in our supplements called cognizant, which is
Mhm.
like clinically proven to help you stay on task and
Mhm.
focus. And so, like there's things out there that can help you so you don't have to reach for these prescriptions too. Like people
Mhm.
are like, Adderall and all these things. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like,
Yes.
there's some things that can help.
Right.
And, and so, these are normal things. And if your doctor isn't, like doctors don't ask you like, how are you doing mentally? Like, what's your brain doing? No,
Mhm.
we can't, scans aren't covered by insurance, which is crazy. They scan everything in our whole body, but they're
Mhm.
not taking care of like our most important, most vital asset. So, and there's good doctors like Dr. Daniel Amen and some people that
Mhm.
are advocating for this, but like if you feel fried, you are fried
Right.
and you need to give your brain breaks. So important.
Yes, in our nervous system, my God, it's
Yeah.
like Right? Just that our nerves are so on edge, or at least mine are, I feel like, you know?
100%.
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
And
it's true. I mean,
it's
especially when you're
true.
going through like perimenopause
Mhm.
and menopause. I'm postmenopausal now, so kind of
Lucky
had a
you.
yeah, well, kind of. I mean, kind of.
But
It's
is it
that's a
being on
double-edged sword.
right, being on the other side of it, do you find that it's better now than during perimenopause
Oh,
especially?
perimenopause is really interesting for me because I would just like you were talking about nerves,
Mhm.
and I would be like, why am I nervous? Like, it was so interesting. Like, I'd be going to do a presentation or into a
Right.
boardroom. And I mean, I've been in boardrooms my whole life, I'm like a super presenter and my heart would be like beating and I'd get like sweaty and I'd be like, what is wrong with you, Helen?
Mhm.
And I mean, and constantly I'd get so nervous and I'm not a nervous person. And it was so apparent that that was what was going on with me. So I think there's all kinds of things we can do, ladies. You don't
Mm.
have to be suffering. And there's I think trial is so key. And
Mm.
when you look at the shelf, and I think that's what Make Time was born from, like
Mm.
looking from the shelf and not seeing solutions that really check the boxes for women. When we put a product out there, like we're like, okay, we need to check a couple boxes. We don't want to waste anyone's time
Mhm.
because we made Make Time for go-go women. And so like the menopause formula is a perfect example of that. It
Mhm.
has collagen in it because your skin, I mean, it's horrible what happens to our skin. It
S
has black cohosh, it's got EM, it has all these things that are tried and true. And then, but like when you look on the shelf, where's the brain part?
Yes.
And so, that's exactly, I was so excited about this. Like I was so stoked to put out this formula because I'm like, there's nothing like it out there.
Right.
And
Right.
go figure, like why? Like, I
Why?
mean, and why Helen, random Helen and Emma, like are filling this void on the shelf. It's bananas to me. And
Right.
so, I'm very proud of what we're doing at Make Time Wellness. And it's not just, I mean, supplementation is key, but also making sure that like our community is really like we like to call it the Make Time movement.
Mm.
Like us women in midlife need to get together. We need to make time for ourselves. We need to give ourselves license and permission.
Mhm.
You know.
Absolutely. And, we're balancing all these things. I mean, you've got all these businesses going, all this amazing stuff. But for you, especially, like, what does resiliency look like to you now? Because you're still leading all these companies, you're publicly out there. What does that look like to you?
Oh gosh. I mean, I just show up.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
for
sometimes
better or for worse.
that's the most important thing is just show up.
I just kind of suit up
Yeah.
and I don't, I mean, I think like I just look, like I really have to make sure I get my sleep and I'm very
Hmm.
invested in sleep hygiene. It's very important for your brain health. It's
Hmm.
important for your whole body. It's when we detox. And so I try to set my life up in a way that I can just go from thing to thing and show up and be my best self. And then also I think that I dive pretty deep into my lifestyle. And
Mm.
because, if you're running around, not sleeping, grabbing a Snickers bar, living on
Mhm.
Starbucks, and trying to like do great things, you're just not giving the body the fuel it needs to show up for you. I always tell people on Sundays, take
Mhm.
a half an hour and prep. Make time to prep. Because if you think about your week and you look at your calendar and you understand what's going on,
Mhm.
you could pull in some Instacart, you can have things set, you can think about where and when and who, like even small things like what am I gonna wear today on the Roxy
Mhm.
Mon and Man? You know what I mean? On Iconic Midlife. Like, all
Yes.
right, I gotta get it together. My last podcast I did with a doctor and you, two different things. So how are we gonna go from one to the next? So I think just planning is so key
Mm.
and allowing yourself time to rest. That's how I show up.
rest and recovery is so important. And we just like
Mhm.
blow past that. I mean, I feel like so many of
Mhm.
us just blow past that, you know, and
And look,
it's,
and I gotta tell you, like, so I have my little brain, body, and beauty
mhm,
drink right here. It's filled with curcumin. There's like a curcumin shot in here, and that's what the color is, and that is an anti-inflammatory. Like when we're
mhm,
stressed, we're inflamed. We need to be reducing our cortisol. There's tricks. There's tricks that we can do to really show up
mhm,
and make sure we're showing up in our most resilient self. And there's seasons, I don't want to say that there's seasons. I'm actually in one now. I mean,
mm,
every week I'm on one, two, three, four planes, and we've got a lot of going on, and it's filled with important conversations and a lot of great stuff. But when I'm done with this busy season, because
mhm,
there's an ebb and a flow, I have to really regroup during those periods. And I have to
mm,
be hyper focused on when I land to really land, and also, spoil myself a little bit,
mhm.
like, go get the massage, go do the spa stuff. I mean, we're not big on self-care, but it's important that when you have the time, you make it for yourself, and put your house in order.
Mhm. That is actually one of the things when I turned 50, I was like,
Mm.
this is my time now. This is my time, and
Yeah.
I'm going to prioritize myself because,
Yes.
for the first 50, it's all about somebody else, and now it's like, this is the time. Do it today, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a
Right?
lot of, like, like 50 is the new,
Yeah.
40. I mean, like, we have a lot of longevity. We've got a lot of stuff around
Mhm.
keeping us here. So, I mean, we can really have fun, do all the things. So I think also making time for fun is really
Mhm.
important. And like, we have different seasons. I was coming out of my grief season, and thinking about what I can do for fun in the beginning of that. I mean, it just wasn't happening. But now I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's get back out there. Let's be social. Let's go to the restaurants. Let's try new things. And fun comes back even after a hard season. And so I think that making time for fun is super important.
What is this next season called for you? What is this next
Oh,
chapter?
yeah. I mean, I'm really in like the season of Helen, because it has never
Ah.
been. And so, really, like, it's all about like these next 10 years for me is my moment to really like fulfill my ambition,
Mhm.
and really help myself and help other companies and other female founders and other women in business. I think it's so crucial that we help each other.
Mhm.
And I think if I can share my story, and thank you so much for having me on today. I really
Of
appreciate it, and just
course.
motivate and inspire. You can do anything,
Yes.
and it's never too late to start. I feel like I mean, I'm 56, and I feel like I have so much left. I'm so stoked about my next 10 years of
Mhm.
business, and then what's after that? What,
Mhm.
like, I'm stoked for that too. So I think that, Helen really right now is all about her ambition,
Mhm.
and I have capacity, I have bandwidth, I have all the things to go out there and get after it. So super driven right now, and really inspired about how Em and I can both really like pull as many women along as possible.
Yes. Oh, I mean, it is about community, like you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like taking all of everybody with us, because it can be a movement. It can be huge. So what would you say to the woman who's listening right now, who's maybe trying to get to a place where she is in, good mental health, like good emotional health, kind of really getting to where she wants to be?
Yeah. Baby steps.
Uh-huh.
I think you just have to set little intentions. And it can be as like, if someone's really underwater,
Hmm.
I think going out for a walk is super underrated. Like, more green time, less screen time, and just being outside in nature and grounding is really important, especially if you're feeling lost and overwhelmed. And so I think that's just number one, is like, make sure you're taking yourself outside. Number two, I mean, these are really basic things, because this is
Hmm.
where I've just recently come from.
Right.
Breathing, breathe, girls. We run around with like like a half of our lungs filled because we're like stressed out. If you're overwhelmed, like no one is breathing. And just by taking a few deep breaths, it will recenter your body and your nervous
Hmm.
system. So I think breathing, breath work, this is something that you can do at home. On YouTube, there's all kinds of things. So I think breathing is really important. And then I think also we like to say at Make Time, like we've been talking about, is like grab a friend, go for a walk, and talk about your problems because it's better out than in, and you'll receive. And so I think the little things are the most
Hmm.
important things when we are trying to get sorted.
Yeah, absolutely. I think also too, like it's different to speak to your partner than it is your girlfriends or your best friends, and it's I think that time in particular is so important. I mean, my husband's great, but like at some point it's just not the same, you know?
It's not the same
No.
because I think, I mean, like, I have the most amazing husband who was so beautiful during my
Mhm.
grief journey, and I cannot, I mean, he really was instrumental in me being able to sit and have this
Mhm.
conversation with you here today. Trust me, but they just don't have the patience necessarily
Mhm.
to receive all the information that we need to dump. And
Mhm.
so I think, like, we all have our friends where we can have a mutual dump. And there's also all kinds of groups. I mean, there's a lot of groups out there. If you're remote, if you're in an area where there aren't people to go grab and take a walk with, there's so many Facebook support groups. I mean, and meetup groups where people can just get together, and church groups. I can go on and on.
Mhm.
Find your group.
Yeah. Find your people, find it.
Yeah, you got to
They're
find your
there.
people.
They're
Yeah.
there, right? What advice would you give your 25-year-old self?
Oh gosh. To make more time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, look, like we've spoken a lot on this podcast about
Mhm.
businesses and career and ambition and all these things. But honestly, I'm a bereaved parent. I would go back and spend more time with my daughter. I had a
Mhm.
lot of time with my daughter, but now, like, in my seat, spend that time with your family,
Mhm.
like spend that time with your loves. It's so important. The call can wait. You
Mhm.
can reschedule the meeting. Things like this can all, and everyone understands, like we put so much pressure on ourselves to,
Mhm.
like, overdo it and, like be the person and, that's always on. Forget all that. I would allow myself to make more time
Mhm.
and really spend it with the people who truly matter.
Mhm. That's such a good point. How are you living iconically right now?
Oh, iconically? Oh, girl, I'm my
Mhm.
iconic self. I
Yes,
mean,
you are. You are
I
great.
mean, I am, I'm
Uh-huh.
saying yes. Like I've had a few
Okay.
years where I just didn't have the bandwidth to say yes. I just wasn't emotionally available. But like this is my year of yes. I'm doing all the things. I'm speaking here, I'm going there, like I'm saying yes to whatever comes my way. And I'm also going after it. Like I am
Mm.
searching for places where I can touch more people, get more
Mhm.
experience and just experience new things. So yeah, it's a year of yes for me.
Yes, it's the season of yes for you, which
Yes, I
is
love it. Yeah, season of yes. Let's
exciting.
go.
Yes. And what is next for you with the brand and all the amazing things you're doing? I saw you guys at, I think, a recent expo. Like, you guys are really getting out
Yeah.
there. You're in Target, like all these great
So
things.
yeah, so we recently launched at Target,
Mm.
which on shelf and on .com, which is a very big deal for a little brand. We are a little brand, so if you're listening, please go support us at Target, and because we need all the support we can get. That is a big retailer, and we
Mm.
are this little startup. It is Emma and me, so we're a woman-owned business, and we can use all the help we can get. And also, we launched QVC this
Mm.
year, and Emma is going on
Mm.
to talk to women about their brain health. We really love that because we're meeting women where they are in the
Mm.
Target shelf on QVC. And I think that we are growing this brand organically. And it's great to see such an amazing just response
Mhm.
to this conversation we're having. Like, I mean, this really started during COVID and,
Mhm.
we had no clue that all this stuff's going to happen to her, to me personally and business. And so I think that we're looking forward to continuing our mission on getting the world talking seriously about women's brain health. We invite everyone to help us try and change that 1 in 5 women statistic.
Yes, we need to. We need to really focus in on that because like
Women
you're saying,
can. It is
yeah,
not a sentence. This is
no.
something that if we get together, we start talking about it just by walking every day, just by, watching your nutrition a little bit, getting a full night's sleep. We do not
Mhm.
have to be that 1 in 5 women with Alzheimer's. So we can change the outlook.
Mhm.
But if women get together, we can do it.
Yes, we're so much stronger together. And
Yeah.
there is a need for it too. On top of it, it's like there is a need. It's out there. So if we can band together, that's what I'm trying to do and do every day on the Iconic Midlife. So, I mean, I'm thrilled that you guys are doing it as well. Helen, thank you so much. You've been amazing. Please tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, sure. So for Make Time Wellness, you can just check it out. Check us out at maketimewellness.com. And then I'm at Helen Christoni. And if you guys need anything, you can always slide into my DMs.
Yes, yes. You've got a beautiful page. I love looking at the pictures of your daughter.
Oh,
It's
thank you
amazing.
so much. And
Yeah.
Roxy, really, I just want to thank you for having this platform for women
Oh, yeah.
and for all the great work you do. And I'm just
Oh,
so
thanks.
honored to be here with you today and talk to you about all this stuff.
Oh, thank you so much. That means so much to me. And we can do that. We're going to do this all together. And that's what
Yeah.
I love. We're all together in this. So this is amazing. Thank you so much, Helen. So
Yeah, my pleasure.
wonderful. Thank you so much for an honest and thoughtful conversation. I think what stayed with me most is this idea that midlife forces us to reevaluate what actually matters: our health, our time, our relationships, our energy, and the stories we keep telling ourselves about who we're supposed to be. And I know so many women listening are navigating caregiving, grief, burnout, reinvention, or simply trying to reconnect with themselves after years of putting everyone else first. So if this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend, post it to your stories, text it to another woman who needs to hear it, and don't forget to follow, download, rate, and review the Iconic Midlife on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Those reviews help more women than people realize and really do help the show grow. You can also follow along at the Iconic Midlife and at Red Carpet Roxy for clips, behind the scenes moments, and upcoming guests. And come back Thursday for the bonus game episode with Helen, because some of her answers honestly surprised me. Until next time, whether you're rebuilding, grieving, evolving, or just figuring it all out as you go, you are not behind. You are becoming, and that's iconic.